Day by day, our magistrates' courts hear nearly 10,000 cases. In the name of the Queen, we meet together to seek justice.
Are you Molly Elizabeth Foster of number 6 Queen's Terrace, Manor Bridge?
Yes.
I appear for this defendant, Your Worship.
Thank you. Firstly, you are charged that between the 12th and the 18th of November 1971, with intent to deceive, you purported to act as a spiritualistic medium or clairvoyant. What is the allegation here?
I represent the prosecution, Your Worships, and it is the prosecution's case that Mrs. Foster acted as a clairvoyant for reward.
Thank you. You purported to act as a clairvoyant, and that in so doing you acted for reward. Secondly, in purporting to act as aforesaid, you used a fraudulent device, and in so doing you acted for reward. Do you understand these charges?
Yes.
And Mrs. Foster, before I ask you whether you plead guilty or not guilty to these charges, I have to tell you that you have the right to choose between being tried by this court or being tried by jury. I am sure that your counsel will have explained to you what that choice implies.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I'd rather be tried here.
The plea is one of not guilty to both charges, Your Worship.
You may sit, Mrs. Foster.
This is a prosecution under the Fraudulent Mediums Act of 1951. As Your Worships are aware, no proceedings under this act may be brought except by or with the consent of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Consent has been obtained and the necessary documents are before the court. Your Worships, with your permission, I shall open this case very briefly. The prosecution will seek to show that the defendant was consulted by a Mrs. Laura Trafford to help find a lost ring, that she purported to act in the capacity of a clairvoyant to recover this ring and accepted payment for so doing. The second charge relates to a fraudulent device used for this purpose. The ring was never recovered. I call my first witness, Mrs. Laura Trafford.
Laura Trafford.
What is your religion?
Church of England.
Take the testament in your right hand and read the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Laura Ann Trafford. You live at 41 Prior Street, Manor Bridge, and you're a housewife?
Yes, sir.
Give your answers to the bench, Mrs. Trafford.
Oh, yes, you did say. I'm sorry, sir.
Take your time, Mrs. Trafford. There's nothing to be nervous about.
Mrs. Trafford, did you, on or about the 8th of November last year, lose a diamond and sapphire ring?
I did.
What sort of value did it have to you?
Sentimental value, of course. It was my engagement ring, and it cost Norman, my husband, £60 17 years ago, which was a lot in those days.
You looked for it?
Well, yes, I looked everywhere.
And failing to find it, what did you do?
Well, first I thought about telling the police, but that would have meant telling Norman. And then, all of a sudden, I thought about Molly Foster.
Do you see Mrs. Foster in court?
Well, yes, over there.
Why did you think of her?
Because she's psychic. She can see things ordinary people can't. So I thought you might see where my ring was.
How do you know she was psychic?
Oh, everybody knows down our way.
So, when did you call her, Mrs. Foster?
The 12th of November.
What happened? Will you tell the court?
Well, Your Worship, I said to her about my ring being lost, and could she find it? And she said, why not? And took me inside.
Just that. Why not?
Yes, sir. And then we went into our front room, which was all done up funny.
Yes.
Well, there was paintings of goats' heads, and one of a woman with a sort of crescent moon on her head.
What was there in the way of furniture?
Oh, there was a little table with knives and candles and coloured cords. Oh, and she lit some incense. There was dangly things all round the walls.
Mrs. Trafford, what the court wants to know is what was actually said and done.
But Mr. Mackenzie asked me...
It was felt, Your Worships, that the court might wish to hear how the defendant set the scene for the reception of gullible clients.
Interior decoration, however bizarre, is not the province of this court, Mr. Mackenzie. What we wish to find out is whether the defendant did in fact gull this particular client.
Which we intend to prove, sir. Mrs. Trafford, will you tell the court what Mrs. Foster did?
She drew the curtains and lit some candles and then turned out the electric light. It was after dark, you see, about 10 o'clock. And then she sat me down in the middle of the floor on a cushion and walked around in a circle with a knife in her hand, saying things.
Go on, please.
She was pointing the knife at the floor as though she was drawing a circle. In the air, like, and we were inside it. She was saying things under her breath. I couldn't hear exactly. Well, then she sat down facing me, sort of cross-legged, and asked me to give her my left hand. She took my ring finger, this one, between her hands, and she sat there for a minute with her eyes shut.
Did she explain what she was doing?
Said she was trying to pick up the vibrations. She used a word, something.
Psychometry?
Yes, that's it.
Your Worships, I must protest at the way Mr. Mackenzie is leading his witness.
I apologise, Your Worships. I was simply trying to assist the bench.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mackenzie. The bench was aware. Please continue.
What did Mrs. Foster do next?
Well, she seemed to be listening to somebody. She kept saying, yes, yes, yes. And then she picked up a crystal ball and she held it in a bit of black velvet.
Can you describe the piece of black velvet? Oh, how big was it?
Oh, quite big. Half a yard of 36, maybe 3/4.
Were her hands underneath it?
Yes. You couldn't see her hands at all. Well, she sat and looked into the crystal for quite a while. And then it suddenly started to glow, like it was lit up from underneath. And she said, "Look, that's the power coming through." And then she sort of murmured to herself for a bit, and she said, "I see something green, an overall. Your ring's in the pocket."
Was that all she said?
Yes, sir. She put the ball back on the table with its velvet, and then she walked round again with a knife.
And did you make any payment to Mrs. Foster?
Yes, I did. I put a £5 note on the mantelpiece.
Did Mrs. Foster see you do it?
I'm sure she did. She nodded and gave a sort of smile, and we chatted for a bit, just about the weather and things, and I went home.
And when you got there?
Well, Your Worship, I've only got one overall, so I went and got it out and had a look in the pocket.
And
Nothing. The pocket was empty.
having discovered that Mrs. Foster was wrong in her alleged clairvoyance, what did you do?
Well, nothing at first. Didn't quite know what to do. And then I went and saw Mrs. Foster again.
When was that?
The following week. The 18th, I think. It's a Thursday, I remember, because Norman goes to his mother's on a Thursday.
The 18th, yes.
Yes. And she said I must be wrong. She'd seen the ring in that pocket as clear as anything. Told me to go back and have another look. And I said, did she think I didn't know and her pocket was empty? And we had a bit of an argument about it. She told me to watch my tongue and gave me a funny look.
What do you mean by a funny look?
Well, she looked at me and did this.
What book did you get that from?
Mrs. Foster, cross-examination will come later.
But she...
And then it will be your counsel who does it.
She did?
Mrs. Trafford, what did you do when you got home that night?
waited till Norman came in and told him all about it. He was very angry. Oh, not about the ring so much. He said...
Will there be a hearing from your husband? I shall be calling him as witness, your worships. After you told your husband, did you look for the ring again?
We both did. We hunted high and low. And I looked in that overall again, practically took it to pieces.
And since then, has there been any further encounter between yourself and Mrs. Foster?
Yes, sir. A while ago.
Can you be specific, please?
What?
The actual date.
Oh, the, January the 17th.
Where was that?
We were walking along the high street, Norman and me, and Mrs. Foster came up and tried to give me my money back.
Oh, what did she say?
She said, "Here, take back your money. I don't want it. It's got bad vibrations."
And what did you say?
I told her it was too late. We were taking her to court and the date was all fixed. She knew that already, of course, and she couldn't get out of it that way. She'd accepted my money.
So?
Well, there was a box for the spastics outside the shop, just beside us, and she stuck the £5 note into it, and she said, "If you want to throw your money around, it might as well do some good." And then she just walked off. And I haven't spoke to her since.
Thank you, Mrs. Trafford.
Mrs. Trafford, on your first visit to Mrs. Foster, the occasion when she consulted the crystal on your behalf, did she ask for money?
Well, not in so many words.
In what words, then?
It was sort of understood.
It was sort of understood. Exactly how was it sort of understood?
Well, she took it, didn't she?
Would you have told the court that you did not hand the money to her? You placed it on the mantelpiece.
She saw me put it there, and she didn't say no.
You were sure her back was not turned at the time?
It certainly wasn't.
Address the bench, please, Mrs. Trafford.
Her back was not turned, Your Worship.
Was there any other money on the mantelpiece?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a pound or two?
Maybe £20.
Well, how could I tell? It was folded up and tucked behind the clock.
Ah. And so you folded up your £5 note and tucked it in with the rest behind the clock.
Well, I suppose that was where she kept her takings.
Yes, if there were any other takings. And on what occasion did you put your £5 note folded up behind the clock?
I said. The first time I went to see her.
I put it to you that it was the second time, on the 18th of November.
No.
Are you admitting the payment was made, then?
It is not disputed, Your Worships, that the witness did place a £5 note on my client's mantelpiece. My case is that my client did not see it being done and was unaware of it until after this court had issued its summons. I shall endeavour to show that the money was placed there by the witness not on her first visit, but on her second, namely the 18th of November.
And the date makes a difference.
So I shall endeavour to show the court, Your Worship, that it makes a vital difference. Mrs. Trafford, the matter of the crystal ball. Now, when Mrs. Foster picked it up from the altar, I understand the little table referred to by the witness serves as an altar, Your Worship. Now, when she picked it up, did you see her pick up anything else with it, except the black velvet?
Well, she could have done. A torch, you mean? Something like that.
Well, did you see any such torch?
Or there could have been wires from under the table.
Yes, well, did you see either a torch or any wires?
No, I didn't. She's too clever.
Or too honest to use them? Or any other fraudulent device? Now, you say you saw the crystal glow.
That's right, I did.
A glow that the crystal picked up from the candles.
But it came on suddenly.
Well, as Mrs. Foster moved the crystal in her fingers, altering the angle, perhaps.
Well, it looked brighter than that to me.
And at one stage, Mrs. Foster said, "The power's coming through."
Yes. It started glowing, and she said, "Look, the power's coming through."
Look. Now, I put it to you, Mrs. Trafford, that she did not say look. That no clairvoyant would ever suggest... whether genuine or fraudulent. I thank Your Worship. that no clairvoyant, whether genuine or fraudulent, would ever invite anyone to look into the crystal for himself, because that is not the nature of the art, whether genuine or fraudulent. And I put it to you that what Mrs. Foster said was merely the powers coming through, just those words and no more.
I think she said, look.
You think?
Well, with that light coming and going,
Coming and going? Oh, now you're suggesting that not merely did Mrs. Foster conceal a lighting device beneath the black velvet, but she also concealed some kind of voltage control to alter the intensity of the light. Remarkable.
Just a moment, Mr. Johnson. I think we might have a look at these. Mr. Mackenzie.
Sir.
Are we going to see this crystal ball and the piece of black velvet?
Unfortunately, no, sir. A police officer did call on the defendant with that in mind, but there was no means of identifying the particular items concerned.
I see.
Mrs. Trafford, has Mrs. Foster ever seen your green overall?
I don't know.
Well, have you ever taken it outside your own house?
Well, no.
And has Mrs. Foster ever been to your house?
Not when I was there.
And you only have one green overall. Now, how do you think Mrs. Foster could have known it was green?
Lucky guess, I suppose.
Extraordinarily lucky guess.
Can you come to the point, please, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, I'm suggesting, your worships, that my client used no fraudulent device, but simply a crystal, a piece of black velvet, and some candles, openly and without pretense. That there was no intent to deceive, which conviction under the law requires, and that on this particular occasion, my client's efforts were, in fact, successful. Mrs. Trafford, when did you or your husband report the loss of your ring to the police?
When we told them about Mrs. Foster.
Yes, but when was that?
Well, let me see.
If it assists your worships, the complaint was laid at Manor Bridge Police Station on Saturday, the 27th November.
I'm obliged. Well, do you agree, Mrs. Trafford, that you first informed the police that your ring was missing on that date?
Yes, that would be it.
Yet you have told the court that the only reason you did not report the loss to the police in the first place was because you didn't want your husband to know. But according to your own evidence, you told your husband the whole story on the night of the 18th of November. Now, you could therefore have told the police conveniently on the morning of the 19th. But you still waited a further 8 days. Now, why was that?
Well, there didn't seem any point. I must have lost it in the house. I never take it off outside.
But it could have been stolen from your house. It could have found its way by accident into your garbage. It could have left the house in a number of different ways and later have been handed in to the police, who would have had no means of tracing its owner. Now, did none of these possibilities occur to you?
Well,
Nor to your husband?
if you want the truth,
Yes, that is the idea, Mrs. Trafford.
well, I was in two minds about whether to make a fuss about it all. I mean, I'm not one for court cases and that, and, well, I reckoned I'd been made a fool of by her. And it was sort of tempting to forget the whole thing. But Norman said it was my duty to show
Mrs.
her
Trafford,
out.
you must not give hearsay evidence.
What's that?
Second-hand accounts of what someone else said. Just say what you said or did, all right?
Yes.
Mrs. Trafford, we are not talking about your decision to complain against Mrs. Foster. We're talking about the loss of a valuable ring, your engagement ring, which any woman would naturally regard as irreplaceable. Now, why should you not have reported the loss to the police immediately and then made up your mind about Mrs. Foster?
I suppose I didn't think of it that way.
I see. Well, only one other point, Mrs. Trafford. You say that on the afternoon of January the 17th, Mrs. Foster came up to you and your husband in the High Street and tried to give you back your £5.
That's right, she did.
You allege that Mrs. Foster said that your money had bad vibrations.
That's what she said.
And the £5 note that she offered you was the same piece of paper that you had put on her mantelpiece 2 months before.
How do I know? I didn't write down its number.
Oh, but if you are right, Mrs. Trafford, it must have been. According to occult theory, only a given physical object can have vibrations, not an item in a bank balance.
I think you'd better elucidate, Mr. Johnson, for the witness's benefit.
Oh, yes, of course, Your Worship. What I'm pointing out, Mrs. Trafford, is that it would be quite incompatible with Mrs. Foster's beliefs for her to have made any such remark, unless the £5 note were the same physical object which you had given to her 2 months before. And that since my client is a lady with a bank account in regular use, it's extremely unlikely that the same £5 note would be still in her possession and identifiable after such a time. It would either have been banked or spent.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Your Worship. Mrs. Trafford, I put it to you that what actually happened in the High Street was that Mrs. Foster accused you of having put £5 on her mantelpiece without her knowledge, and insisted that since she had not asked for it and did not want it, you should take it back.
It wasn't like that at all, Your Worships. It was like I told you before.
Thank you, Mrs. Trafford.
Mr. Mackenzie, do you wish to re-examine this witness?
No, thank you, sir.
You may stand down, Mrs. Trafford.
Mr. Norman Trafford, please.
Norman Trafford.
What is your religion?
CV.
Take the testament in your right hand and read the words on this card.
I'll swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
You are Norman John Trafford. You live at 41 Prior Street, Manor Bridge, and you're a building contractor?
That's right.
Now, please tell the court the circumstances of which your wife told you of the loss of her engagement ring.
Well, it was about 11 o'clock on the evening of November the 18th last year. I'd just come home and she told me it had gone missing about a week earlier, maybe a bit more.
What did your wife tell you she'd done?
Told me she'd been to see her.
The defendant, Mrs. Foster?
That's right.
And what did you do then?
Well, I told her she must be out of her mind because Molly Foster was a crank.
Mr. Trafford!
Making money out of people who were daft enough to believe in her.
Mr. Trafford, you really must confine yourself to answering the questions.
So what did you do, Mr. Trafford?
Well, we looked in the overall. It wasn't there, of course. We hunted high and low and it's still missing. Simple as that.
Did you and your wife have a conversation with Mrs. Foster in the High Street?
We did.
When was that?
On January the 17th.
What happened?
Well, she came up to us outside the paper shop and tried to give Laura her money back.
What reason did she give?
She said she didn't want it because it had bad vibrations.
You said?
Well, I wasn't going to allow myself to speak to her, but Laura said, "No, Mrs. Foster, it's too late. You took my money and it's all been a fraud, and now you've got to face the music in court. That's what they're there for. You can't get out of it that way." And then Molly went and put the money in a spastics box.
Thank you, Mr. Trafford.
Mr. Trafford, why didn't you report the loss of your wife's ring to the police immediately after she'd told you?
Well, I wanted to, but she was still a bit upset and didn't want people to know she'd been to see Mrs. Foster.
No, but surely she or you could have reported the loss without even mentioning Mrs. Foster.
Well, perhaps it was my fault. I mean, I wanted to tell the police all about this witch nonsense and Molly taking people's money and that. But, well, if we were going to report it, then we had to report the lot, Molly and all. Anyway, in the end, I talked her around.
So you persuaded your wife to lay a complaint against Mrs. Foster in spite of her natural reluctance to expose herself as having been gullible.
Well, I reckoned it was our duty.
Your duty. Purely in the public interest, without personal malice.
Of course.
How long have you known Mrs. Foster, and how well?
Well, we was both born here. Went to school together and that. She was always half around the bend, everybody knew.
Do you own a black Zephyr saloon car, registration number WLT 304G?
Everybody knows that, too.
And was it parked in Queen's Terrace, Manor Bridge, near Mrs. Foster's house at number 6, for approximately 2 hours on the evening of the 7th of November of last year?
It could have been. It's a handy place to park, just off the High Street.
It would not be difficult to find witnesses to say that it was parked there during those hours.
So it was there. What of it?
I put it to you that you were inside Mrs. Molly Foster's house at number 6 during the whole of those 2 hours.
If you've got witnesses to say that, they're liars. I ain't been in Molly's house since we were both kids.
Thank you, Mr. Trafford.
Mr. Trafford, where were you on that evening, the 7th November, while your car was parked in Queen's Terrace?
Talking to Tom Phillips, my timber supplier. We often meet in the evenings. It's the only time we're both free.
That's all, Mr. Trafford. Call Police Constable Matthew Waring, please.
Constable Waring.
Oh, yes.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. 379, Police Constable Matthew Waring, attached to Manor Bridge Police Station, Your Worships. On the 27th of November last, I went to the house of the defendant, Mrs. Molly Foster, 6 Queen's Terrace, Manor Bridge. I informed her that complaint had been laid against her under the Fraudulent Mediums Act by Mrs. Laura Trafford, alleging that on or about the 8th of November, with intent to deceive, she had purported to use clairvoyant powers to locate missing property belonging to the complainant, to wit, 1 diamond and sapphire ring. In so doing, she had made use of a fraudulent device, to wit, 1 crystal ball and 1 black velvet cloth associated with some method of illumination. And in so doing, she had acted for reward, to wit, £5. The defendant said, "What £5? You've known me all my life. You know me better than that." I asked the defendant to produce the device complained of. She offered me 2 crystal balls and 4 pieces of black velvet. I asked her which of these items was the one that she'd used on the occasion in question, to which she replied, "I haven't a clue. Would you like me to gaze into one of them and find out?" Well, I concluded that it wasn't possible to identify the items concerned, Your Worship. I invited the defendant to accompany me to the police station, to which she said, "Shall we take your panda car or my broomstick?" I drove the defendant to Manor Bridge Police Station, where she was cautioned and made no reply. That is my evidence, Your Worships.
So I have no questions for this witness.
Thank you, Constable.
Thank you, Your Worships.
Your Worships, I think my learned friend would like to make a submission at this stage.
So I should like to submit that there is no case to answer on the charge of using a fraudulent device.
If it assists Your Worships, the prosecution will not oppose that submission.
Very well, Mr. Johnson, that charge will be dismissed. Now you are left with the first charge, that of fraudulently acting as a clairvoyant for reward.
Thank you, sir. The defence case is that there was no intent to deceive and that my client received no payment for her services. Mrs. Foster, will you go into the witness box, please?
What is your religion?
Wicca.
What did you say?
She asked me what my religion was, and I told her. Wicca.
Are you willing to affirm?
Certainly.
Read the words on the card, please.
I, Molly Elizabeth Foster, do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give in this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And may my weapons turn against me if I break this my solemn oath.
Mrs. Foster, you live at number 6 Queen's Terrace, Manor Bridge.
Yes,
And you are a widow.
that's right.
Now, what is your source of income?
I'm an accounts clerk at Brewers.
And what does that pay? Take-home pay.
£17.50.
Anything else?
Oh, I have the rent from that unfurnished flat in my house.
Yes, and how much is that?
It's £5 a week.
Do you have any children?
No,
Just yourself to keep.
that's right.
So, although by no means wealthy, you are comfortably off.
I'll get by.
Now, do you make any secret of the fact that you consider yourself to be a witch? A white witch, following a family tradition stretching back for at least 3 centuries?
No secret at all.
And as a declared witch, you perform certain services for those who ask you.
Yes, and it would be against the law of my craft to accept payment for them.
And did you perform a service of this kind for Mrs. Laura Trafford?
Yes, Your Worship, on November the 12th, Mrs. Trafford came to me and told me that she'd lost her engagement ring. So I used the crystal and I saw it in the pocket of an overall. I told her this and we chatted for a bit and then she went away. And the next week she was back trying to pretend the ring wasn't where I'd seen it, and I knew it was.
What do you mean, you knew?
Well, not by any evidence the court would recognise, Your Worship, but I did know.
Well, I'm afraid, Mrs. Foster, we shall have to confine ourselves to evidence that the court can recognise. And that does not include unsupported declarations of alleged clairvoyance.
Sorry.
Mrs. Foster, did you on either occasion ask Mrs. Trafford for money?
No, I did not.
Or accept any for which you had not asked?
No, of course not. It was over a month later I realised she'd left £5 on the mantelpiece without me knowing.
Yes, would you explain to the court how it came about that you realised this so much later?
Well, my tenants have got into the habit of paying the rent monthly in advance, so sometimes they pay for 4 weeks and sometimes for 5. On the evening of the 18th of November, that is, Mrs. Carroll came down with the money and, well, we were talking about other things, and while we were doing it I signed the rent book and I tucked the notes behind a corner of the clock on the mantelpiece. And the next day I banked them and well, I didn't think any more about it till this summons came and I found Laura Trafford said she'd paid me £5. And then, of course, I realised what had happened. I'd banked and counted £25 without thinking, because the Carrolls often paid me that much. And it wasn't till I looked back in the rent book that I found they'd only paid me for 4 weeks that time.
Yes, you will remember, Your Worship, that Mrs. Trafford stated that she had put her £5 with the other notes that were already behind the corner of the clock on the mantelpiece. Do you produce your rent book and bank statement?
Yes, that's mine.
Your Worship will see an entry in the rent book signed by Mrs. Foster for £20. That's 4 weeks' rent received on the 18th of November. And then in the bank statement, an entry for the 19th of November showing a payment in of £25.
Mrs. Trafford has told us that she put the money on the mantelpiece on the 12th of November. The defendant herself has told us that Mrs. Trafford returned on the 18th to complain the ring was not where Mrs. Foster said it was. Now, are you suggesting that Mrs. Trafford made the payment at the very moment she was complaining?
Yes, I'm suggesting precisely that, Your Worship. I shall endeavour to show that by the 18th of November, Mr. Trafford already knew of his wife's first visit to my client, that he saw therein a chance to trap Mrs. Foster into an apparent offence against the Act, and that in order to further that plan, he instructed or persuaded his wife to call on Mrs. Foster again and to plant, if I may use the word, a £5 note on her, which Mrs. Trafford did on the 18th.
Go on, Mr. Johnson.
Mrs. Foster, did Mr. Trafford visit you on the evening of the 7th of November of last year?
He did. He stayed with me for about 2 hours.
And what happened during that meeting?
He pleaded with me. Used every argument he could think of, including bribery.
Pleaded with you? For what, Mrs. Foster?
He wanted to be made a witch.
Mr. Trafford wanted to be made a witch?
Yes. He wanted to join the coven.
And he spent 2 hours at your house on the evening of the 7th of November of last year trying to persuade you to accept him.
That's right.
And did you?
No, I refused him.
And did you give him any reasons?
I told him the only reason he was interested was the fact that we worked naked. And that if he did hope to learn any magic, it was the black kind, and he wouldn't learn that from us anyway.
Now, what made you think that?
Well, I know how his mind works.
So you turned him down flat in pretty blunt terms?
That's right.
And after that meeting, has Mr. Trafford made any further attempts to persuade you?
Oh, no, I made it quite clear it'd be no use.
Quite. And when was the next time you met him?
Oh, that was in the High Street on January the 17th. I'd realised by now that £5 had been planted on me, and so I told them what I thought of them and tried to give them the money back. Oh, I never said anything about vibrations. Well, that would be nonsense. Oh, I did say that I'd never taken any money from my work and I wasn't going to start then.
And the ring?
Oh, they've got that all right. They'll probably pretend to find it when this is all over.
So you're quite convinced in your own mind that Mr. and Mrs. Trafford have found the ring in the overall pocket, as you predicted, and are now hiding it?
Well, either that or Mrs. Trafford looked in the wrong overall. Incidentally, I never said anything about the colour.
Thank you, Miss Foster.
Mrs. Foster, have you any witnesses to your alleged conversation with Mr. Trafford in your home on the evening of 7th November?
Well, no, I haven't. I mean, a man like that makes quite sure there are no witnesses.
So you have no witnesses and no evidence?
No. No, I haven't, but I know him.
You know him? Well, then perhaps you know where Mr. and Mrs. Trafford have hidden the ring.
I can't see. I've been trying and I can't.
Indeed, then your clairvoyance is not infallible.
When I see something, it is. And when I see nothing, I see nothing.
But you do claim to have clairvoyant powers.
But of course.
And you made that claim to Mrs. Trafford.
I didn't have to. I mean, she already knew. That's why she
At
came.
any rate, your actions implied the claim.
Well, of course.
Of course, and you were paid for what you did.
Oh, but I didn't know I'd been paid. Not till much later.
That will be for the court to decide. You purported to exercise clairvoyant powers, and money was paid in respect of what you did. Thank you, Mrs. Foster.
Mrs. Foster, as my learned friend and the Act put it, you purported to exercise clairvoyant powers. Did you, as the Act also puts it, but my friend neglected to ask, do so with intent to deceive?
Of course not. I told her exactly what I saw.
Thank you, Mrs. Foster.
Mr. Mackenzie?
I have no further questions, sir.
You may stand down, Mrs. Foster.
Thank you.
My next witness is Mrs. Joan Bartrip.
Mrs. Joan Bartrip.
What is your religion?
Spiritualist.
Are you willing to swear on the New Testament or affirm?
I'll swear on the New Testament.
Take the book in your right hand and read the words on this card, please.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Mrs. Joan Bartrip, and you live at number 14, Queen's Terrace, Manor-Bridge, and you are a housewife.
Yes.
You are a member of the Manor-Bridge Spiritualist Church.
For the past 17 years.
And do you hold any office in that church?
Yes, I'm the treasurer.
So, any payments made by your church to any person would be known and recorded by you.
Certainly. And the accounts are professionally audited.
Now, what dealings has your church had with the defendant, Mrs. Molly Foster?
Well, she's not a member. There are some things we don't look at the same way, of course. But she's been coming to us for years as a guest medium. We're always glad to welcome her. She's particularly good on psychometry.
Yes, would you explain that term, psychometry, please?
Picking up information, psychically that is, from physical objects. For example, you could give her a piece of jewellery to hold and she would tell you about its history and the emotions in which it had been involved.
And Mrs. Foster has performed this service to your satisfaction?
Oh, yes. And she's given help and comfort to no end of people. We're always being asked to invite her back again. She's got a wonderful reputation, just like her mother had before her.
Can you give us an example of this help?
Oh, I certainly can. I was about to go on holiday last year when Mrs. Foster rang and told me to go and see my doctor before I went. Well, I was feeling fine. But of course, I did go. Just as well I did.
Had you been ill previously?
No. Anyway, the doctor examined me and he said if I hadn't gone, it might have been very serious.
Yes, Mrs. Bartrip, would you mind telling the court what it was that was wrong with you?
I had a lump on my breast.
Thank you. Now, Mrs. Bartrip, you said, of course, you followed Mrs. Foster's advice or warning.
I'd have been a fool not to. She's been right too often.
Oh, she's helped you before?
Not just me, dozens of people.
In your presence?
Sometimes at the meetings. Sometimes they don't realise how right she was until afterwards, and then they come and tell me.
Your Worship, sir.
Yes. Mr. Johnson, your witness is straying into the realms of hearsay.
And for all this help that Mrs. Foster has given to you and your church members, has she ever asked for payment or been given any?
Never, not a penny.
Thank you, Mrs. Bartrip.
Mrs. Bartrip, you say no payment has been made to the defendant by your church.
None whatsoever.
Would you say that her known dealings with your church have spread her reputation somewhat wider?
Well, they might have, quite rightly.
Bringing her other customers as a result of this means of advertisement.
Customers, she's not a fortune teller. She uses her power to help people, as we all do, not for money.
So far as you are aware. Thank you, Mrs. Bartrip.
No further questions.
You may stand down, Mrs. Bartrip.
Mr. James Curtis, please.
James Curtis.
What is your religion?
The Church of England.
Hold the testament in your right hand and read the words on the card, please.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You're Mr. James Curtis, and you live at number 62 Pembroke Road, Manor Bridge.
That's right, yes.
So are you a member of the Manor Bridge Businessmen's Club?
The past 18 years, yes.
And were you in the bar of the club premises on the evening of the 16th of November of last year?
I was, yes.
And was Mr. Norman Trafford also in the bar?
He was, yes. 3 or 4 of us were together, and one of the others told a, well, humorous story about a witch. We all laughed, and I said, I wonder if Molly Foster ever does anything like that. Well, while the others were laughing, Mr. Trafford turns to me and said, that cow, I tell you, Jim, I fixed her good and proper. Mr. Trafford's very direct in his manner of speech, Your Worship. Anyhow, I asked him what he meant, and he said, wait and see.
And those are his exact words. That cow, I tell you, Jim, I fixed her good and proper, and wait and see.
His exact words, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
Mr. Curtis, you make regular use of the Businessmen's Club.
I'm there pretty well every day, yes, if only briefly.
And Mr. Trafford?
3 or 4 times a week, I'd say.
And the other members who are in that particular group on that particular occasion?
All fairly regular attenders, yes.
And yet, several weeks later, you can say that a particular conversation took place on November the 16th precisely.
I've a pretty good memory for such things. You need it in my business.
Really? Good enough to remember on which date every casual remark was made? That this one, for instance, took place on November the 16th and not the 19th or 20th.
But it wasn't casual. It was said with great feeling.
With so much feeling that you, on hearing it, made a particular note of the date. Remarkable. Mr. Curtis, were you one of the tenderers for the contract to build the extension to the Borough Library?
I was, yeah.
And when Mr. Norman Trafford was granted the contract, did you or did you not say loudly in that very same bar that you get your own back on him one day?
Well, yes, I did,
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. I have no more questions.
Mr. Curtis, when you said you'd get your own back on him one day, what did you mean exactly?
Well, I was joking. Norman and I thrive on healthy competition. A humorous remark.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
You may stand down, Mr. Curtis.
That is the case for the defense. The court has heard the testimony of the character witness, Mrs. Bartrim, and I hope the sincerity of the defendant will have been apparent to the court. For as your worship is aware, sincerity has a practical bearing on the law in this case. The Act lays down that to be guilty of an offence, a person who purports to exercise clairvoyant or other similar powers must be shown to have done so with intent to deceive. Well, I maintain and submit that my client, whether deluded or not, has patently not acted with intent to deceive. Now, further, the Act requires that to be convicted, a person must be proved to have acted for reward. Well, I submit that the placing of money on the intended recipient's mantelpiece without his or her knowledge does not come under that category. I further submit that the Trafford's extraordinary delay in reporting the loss of a valuable ring to the police supports my client's contention that the complaint was prompted by Mr. Trafford's desire for revenge, especially when taken with Mr. Curtis's testimony of Mr. Trafford's remarks in the club, and that he has fabricated the necessary evidence in order to achieve that revenge. I ask that this court find my client not guilty on this remaining charge, as it has done already on the charge of using a fraudulent device.
I'll buy another ring.
I don't think there'll be any need for that. Do you?
Would you stand up, Mrs. Foster? We do not think that the prosecution have proved their case. Accordingly, it is dismissed.
Oh, thank you, worships.
Your worships, numbers 1 and 2, C. Barrett, J. Mullins, the joint burglary. That's now ready to proceed.
Yes, all right. Now, what about the rest of the list? Time's going on a bit.
Yeah, I suggested that we transfer the assault case, number 4, and number 6.
Oh, sorry, sir. I meant to tell you that one's had to be withdrawn, the harassment summons. One of the parties is in hospital.
Yes, well, that only leaves number 5. What's that?
Non-payment of fines.
Well, I think we'd better take that one first, don't you? Then if we don't have enough time, we can remand the burglary and perhaps it can go on to tomorrow's list.
Well, unless we see if Court 2 can take it. Any idea how they're doing in driving, is it?
Yes, I'll go and check, sir. In the meantime, you'll deal with the non-payment in here.
Yes.